Welcome to the Mobile County Public Schools Athletic Show. My name's Brad Lowell, Athletic Director, Mobile County Public Schools. On today's show, we're here with two of our outstanding middle school coaches, Coach Shelton from Hankins Middle School football and Coach Varner from Sims Middle School volleyball teams. Both teams won the championships this year. We're going to start with Coach Shelton. Coach, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good. We want to really try to emphasize a little bit more about our middle school sports and kids that are coming up, and definitely want to bring you on since you had an outstanding season this year. Tell us a little bit about your team and kind of how you got to the point of winning the championship.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on and a platform for all middle schools, to name some of the kids and promote our program. You coach football, and you know on Friday nights, if you don't put in the time, you're going to get embarrassed.
That's right.
And 20 years ago in middle school, it was a lot like park ball, pitch right, pitch left, and that don't work anymore. If you don't put in the time with middle school now, you're going to get embarrassed on Thursday.
Right.
So a lot of folks don't know that. We put a lot of time into it. We film every practice, we film every game, and we treat our middle school just like you would a high school. So we want our middle school kids to go into high school ready to play football.
Yeah, I saw, who was it, Fox 10 that came in and did a segment for y'all's team and about their accomplishments. And I know one of the things that they showed in the video was you guys in the weight room.
Yes.
How much emphasis do you put in weight training?
This was past year was the first year I've ever done weight training in a middle school, and it's a lot of technique, a lot of safety at that age. And I really thought going into it, obviously you would think, hey, this is going to make our team bigger, stronger, faster. And what I took out of it even more than that was communication. You get 12, 13-year-olds in there, 14, and they're talking and they're counting, and that gets them talking and communicating more, and that transitioned on the football field. And I remember our first practice, our kids were talking, and it's hard to get a kid to talk. It's hard to get a kid to coach their teammates, and that was even bigger than them getting stronger. With our quarterback talking, our receivers and O-line talking, to our middle linebacker talking, that was huge for us.
Yeah, you can't talk enough. Even it's hard to get 18-year-olds to talk.
That's right.
Much less middle school kids. I think any type of strength and conditioning program, especially what you mentioned at middle school age, which is more of a technique oriented than it is trying to put a whole bunch of weight on there.
That's right.
And developing that sense of communication can only help for sure. This is your second year at Hankins. I know you spent over 10 years at Chastain Middle School.
Yes.
Had some experience in the high school. What are some of your key guys this year that was build up of your team that you think might move on into high school and have maybe some pretty good careers?
Your obvious is what the fans see, the running back, quarterback, receiver, and I'm going to mention their names, but our offensive line, that was a big deal. We had two guys, mainly Jordan Bolden and Marquez Timms. They played offense and defense. And in middle school, most middle school teams, you get 20 to 30 come out, guys going both ways. And these two guys, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, and I really believe they can make the transition from middle school to high school. And, Coach Collier came to the games, his staff came to the games. And these two guys right here, they're going to be playing next year on Friday night. They are. They're special. They're big, they're strong, and most of all, they're good kids. They really are. They tried to make each other better. When one of them did good, they celebrated together. So these are two really special guys.
Well, and you always have your core leaders, of course, and I think it's not only is it important to have that locker room experience for those leaders in high school, but I think it trickles down into middle school too. If you don't have the leaders, it's hard to build a core group. I know you have a good administration, Mr. Diaz. He's been pretty supportive of you guys, right?
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and again, you were in high school, when you have your offensive set of coaches and your defensive set of coaches, sometimes they don't mesh together. It just happens. Offense and defense were together. our female side of the PE department, golly, they really helped us out a lot. Emily Walters is our athletic director, and I don't know how many middle schools did the new Dragonfly. That's the new way to
For
do
eligibility,
paperwork and
that's right.
eligibility. We did that this year because of her.
Yeah.
Our office staff, Mr. Diaz, and our 2 administrators that help him, everybody was together. Our community helped us, the parents.
Yeah, because I know Mr. Ingram used to be a football
Oh yeah,
coach.
Mr. Ingram, Charlie Ingram's real supportive, and Miss Carter Walker, she loves football. She was at every game, so we were all in, and that made my job easy. I promise you that.
Yeah, it helps when you have an entire school from administration down through teachers, faculty, coaches, into the students who have the same buy-in of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. What's the future look like for Hankins football coming back?
Well, you know, we're going to just keep doing the same thing. Jason Smith is my coworker in PE, and we have the same philosophy. He takes the kids in the weight room one day, and I do it the next day. And with us working together, with us being on the same page, you know, we just keep showing the kids, the 6th graders, now that we've won, you got a lot of kids wanting to come out for football.
Right.
You know, really, and that's when you turn the corner, you know, at any program. You know, when Nick Saban got to Alabama, they had to turn the corner, and they did, and look at them now.
Right.
So we got over that from last year to this year, and with Jason and myself keeping the ball rolling, it's going to be a good thing in the next 2, 3, 4 years.
Are you big as far as with we know that the high schools all have a spring training. How important is it that you think that the middle school teams also have a spring training?
Well, spring training gets your paperwork done, it gets your physicals done, it gets the guys a kind of an idea of what we expect. You know, some guys that were in park ball, if you're 120 pounds or over, you can't even run the football. Right. So we get these park ball players that were really good in park ball, and they get in middle school, and it's a real eye opener for them. Guy that really excelled at 110 pounds, and then we have to change his position, and then they have the summer to think about that. They have the summer to try to get bigger, stronger, faster.
Right. Do you do things with your kids during the summer, or
We
you
do a
just
little
kind of
bit.
give them some time off in preparation for the fall?
You know, the summer isn't what it used to be. Really, it's only about 7 weeks. You know,
That's
but
right.
if, you know, June 1st we're having school, and then we start August 1st.
That's right.
You know, a lot of people saying I got to stick up for my teachers. Oh, you get the whole summer off. Well, it's 7 weeks, and a lot of teachers are up there anyway.
That's right.
So it's the kids are up there, teachers are up there. We're all working hard.
Well, we talked a little bit before the show started. How do you think we set this year up to have 4 divisions in football and to try to not only have division winners, but also overall county winner? How did that seem to work this year?
Oh, that was great. It was. You know, we got away from that. The last time we did it was 2008, and we got back to that this year. A lot of kids were bought in, and you know, they have an overall winner in park ball. Now we have an overall winner in middle school, and all the coaches really enjoyed that.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for what you do for the kids and for Hankins Middle School, and look forward to seeing a lot of successful years for Hankins in the near future.
I appreciate it. I got to name a couple names.
Sure.
E.J. Simmons was my quarterback. Tavares Sullivan was running back. Matthew Skipper and Daniel Lockwood were key on our defense. Only allowed 1 touchdown. First team. Only allowed 1 in 8 games. And those 2 were a big part of it. I had Damon Jones was our running back. And then offensive line, I told you, was awesome with Carson Randall, Jordan Bolden, Marquez Timms, Williams Hernandez, and Taylor Holman. I just got to
Well, I tell
name
you,
those
if
names.
you only gave up 1 touchdown with your first team, then I think that's going to make for a pretty good year.
Yes, it is.
So,
I do appreciate it.
yeah, well, thanks again, Coach. And this time we're going to go to break, and then we'll be back with Coach Varner from Sims Middle School.
We've established a culture of innovation here at Mary B. Austin. We've made it our goal to disrupt the status quo of traditional learning as we prepare our students for their future in this global society. We call our students the Austin Innovators because we want to develop outside-the-box thinkers. We want to develop students who think critically, who think entrepreneurially, and who can collaborate well with others. Our focus is entirely on our students and engaging them in meaningful, real-world learning experiences. Here at Austin, we've been able to do this through our seamless integration of project-based and service learning, the Talents Unlimited model for critical and creative thinking, design thinking and digital literacy through our emerging technologies and communication labs, integration of fine arts, and a focus on 21st century skills and entrepreneurship.
Do you have what it takes to be an Envision graduate? We are pioneering students to be all they can be, from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade.
I definitely would recommend Envision to other students who feel the way I feel. They really work with you, and they've gotten tutors, and you have online teachers to talk to.
It starts right here. It starts right now. Envision Virtual Academy. Enroll today.
In Mobile County Public Schools, we are redefining ready. We are graduating college ready, career ready, and life ready. We are more than just a test score. We are earning college credit while in high school. We are working internships to get real-world experience. We are welders. We are certified nursing assistants. We are redefining ready.
All right, welcome back to our show. We're here with Coach Varner from Sims Middle School's volleyball team this year. Coach, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here, and congratulations on a championship season for your girls and your program.
Yes, thank you.
Well, you know, over the years, you've done a really good job with your girls, and the Sims Middle School volleyball team has always been a highly competitive team. So tell us a little bit about your team this year and what got you to the point to winning the county championship.
Okay. So we had about 5 or 6 girls that returned from last year, and last year we were actually the second place. We were the runner-up. So we knew that this year going in, we had an expectation that we wanted to win. We wanted to be the county champion. So setting that expectation early in, even with tryouts, talking with the girls that were coming out, we had over 80 girls come out for volleyball.
Wow.
Yes, and so only 6 can play, so that made it a huge challenge. But talking with the girls and setting an expectation of what we wanted to do that year, which was to win the championship overall. And then we had to talk about the vision of how we were going to do that, how we were going to train, what things we were going to put in, what work we were going to do with the girls. And so getting them to realize what it was going to take and then actually going through with that made a difference this year.
I think that's a great point that you mentioned, that it's easy to come out and say, hey, you know, our goal is going to be winning the championship. Well, that's easier said than done. You know, it's about those building blocks of what you have to do in order to get to that point. And I think that's a great, you know, mindset that you promote it to the girls to show them this is the things that we have to do. This is how we're going to have to work. This is the steps we're going to have to take. Because a lot of times you're dealing with 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls,
Oh, yes.
and they need that direction to actually know the type of work I'm gonna have to put in order to get to that point. Well, I had the opportunity, luckily, to see a few games this year, and I know you guys, last year you lost the championship to Causey. Mm-hmm. This year you came in, the regular season match you lost to Causey, and then came back, and in the first game of that championship day, you matched up with Causey for the division title, and then you ended up dropping the first game and coming back and winning the next 2. And those girls showed a lot of perseverance, you know.
Absolutely.
Talk to us a little bit. It seemed like they wanted it bad.
Oh, yes, they definitely wanted it bad. So for most of the girls, you know, middle school is the first time they've ever even played volleyball because we don't have the recreational volleyball here. And so just getting them to train throughout the summer and through the season. It's a very short season, so getting them to train really hard and to build up that endurance and to build up the perseverance that they have to push through when they are falling behind. And there were times that we fell behind, not so often in the season, but like you said with Causey, because we're matched very evenly with them.
Right.
And for them to fight through that, and I would coach them and say, every point after it's over, it's over. You fight for the next one. And so they really showed, they really showed how hard they had worked and the bond that they created together. The girls, when you get 13 girls together, it can get crazy sometimes, but they really created a family bond to work together. And there's not one particular person that stands out, because you need a passer to make a set. You need the set to make the spike to win the point. So every girl worked really hard and to earn each point. And especially with, we're the underdogs. So for them to come on top, it really showed that they were, they really understood the whole point of why we trained like we did, so that we could fight when we were, fighting adversity and losing, when we could come back and win.
That's right. And I think it's definitely a testament to those girls to, not giving up when it was easy to at a time that looked, tough, because dropping the first set and then being behind in the second set, I mean, it's pretty easy, especially when and it's just a 2 out of 3.
Oh yeah, it could easily be a mental game.
That's
it's
right.
Quick.
So I thought that was really great to see that, push through that adversity and ended up persevering, through the match. You mentioned that you had 6 returners from the season before. What about for next year? What's it looking like?
So typically I like to pick six or seven seventh graders so that we can build on that. It's looking about the same. This year I had 20 girls, which was extremely high, because I had one come from Louisiana, a couple of them pick up from other schools when they transferred. But I'm going to try to maybe go a little bit less than 20 this year, maybe 14, 15. But I think building them up, because this is their first time playing volleyball. This is most of their first time being exposed to it. It doesn't hurt, and it definitely helps. Coach Shoquist at MGM, she is thrilled that we can have that time to train with the girls, and any court time is good time. So it will help us build for next year. We want to win again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned about putting in a lot of work throughout the year. The AHSA now allows you to work with up to 50% that can play at a time, per one coach, no more than 2 hours per week per student. Do you take advantage of that?
Yes, we absolutely did. My mom, which is actually the assistant coach, Linda McNair, we actually set up the 3-on-1. In the spring and in the summer, we set that up so that we could have time with those girls, and I really did see a difference in that, working with them one-on-one and their skills, and that helped majorly.
Yeah, and I talking to Coach Shelton earlier, and now talking to you. I mean, when you think of the difference between high school and middle school, it's different anymore. It's not just rolling a ball out there and saying go play. It's not just like it used to be. You better be on your P's and Q's, or you're going to get beat.
We actually switched a lot before this year. We played a 4-2, which is 2 setters, but this year we went to a 5-1 with 1 setter, because it's a lot faster game, and that's actually what they use in high school too. So the girls need to go ahead and get used to that, so that they can get down the transitioning and get down the quicker game that they'll be playing in high school.
And I love that concept of, you're building a lot of things in middle school. One thing is you're teaching a lot of girls volleyball for the first time.
Oh yes.
The second part is you're teaching them how to compete. The third part is you're getting them ready for high school. High school, they don't, they get them, and a lot of their success depends on middle school coaches and how they have prepared going into 9th grade. I'm a true believer of that.
Yes.
And I think it's great to have coaches like you and Coach Shelton and other coaches throughout the county that do a good job, that prepares their kids so that when they do step into the 9th grade, it's not such a drastic change of them knowing the game.
Absolutely.
Do you do a lot during the summer with your girls?
We do a lot of conditioning with the girls. They would say that all we did was run.
Right.
But we do a lot of technique. We do a lot of skills and drills with them that prepares them with their vertical, a lot to do with their footwork. So definitely you need that summertime. I know a lot of people like to enjoy their summer, but it pays off. When you put in a little bit of time and work with them, you can see a difference.
Well, and you can. I mean, especially the time that you put in, and it showed this year, you know, and then of course having a good administration to allow you to do those things like Mr. Ellis and others, that's a big part of it too.
Yes, we have a great community. All of our staff and our administrators, our parents, and our community, they rally around us. That's why we have the program that we have, because it takes everybody. Right. It takes everybody supporting you and encouraging you, and just being there for you. That makes it even easier to push and win.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming on, and I appreciate you coming in this morning, and congratulations again on a great season.
Yes, thank you for having us.
All right, this time we'll go to break, and then we'll be back.
The more parents are involved in school, the more likely it is a child will succeed. Children with involved parents and attend school regularly make better grades and have better social skills. Every involved parent makes a difference.
Get involved.
Ask about your child's day.
Explain how your education matters. Parent involvement, it matters.
You can find more information on parent involvement at mcpss.com.
I'm Mac McElroy, and I'm a junior here at Baker High School. My future plans after I graduate high school are to go to Auburn University and get a mechanical engineering degree. And taking the AP courses could help me get credits to decrease the amount of time I had to be in college. Baker High School has prepared me for college, career, and life readiness by allowing me to participate in these clubs and classes that I'm taking now.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
All right, welcome back to our last segment of the show. This segment, we're just going to talk a little bit about the fall sports, some of our teams that have competed and have went on to play in regional and state tournaments. We'll start with football. Football playoffs start this week, and we want to give congratulations to some of our playoff teams that will be competing this week. In 4A, Williamson was able to make the 4-spot playoff position in their region, and so they'll be traveling to play American Christian Academy this week, and so Williamson will be on the road. In 5A, Centronelle was able to secure the 3rd spot in the 5A Region 1. They'll be traveling to Bibb County Friday night. Viger ended up winning the region, 5A Region 1. Congratulations to Coach Scott and the Viger Wolves on an outstanding regular season. They'll be hosting Central Tuscaloosa this week at Pritchard Stadium. And in 7A, we want to give congratulations to Theodore High School and Davidson High School on their outstanding seasons and making it to the 7A playoffs. Theodore was able to win the region for the first time in almost 20 years, 18 years maybe. So congratulations to Coach Collier and the Theodore Bobcats over their region championship. They'll be hosting Leah Montgomery at Theodore Friday night. And then Davison was able to secure the 4th spot in the Region 1 standings, and they'll be traveling to the number 1 seeded team, Central Phoenix City, this week for the first round. So congratulations to our football teams that made it to the first round of the state playoffs. Also, we want to talk a little bit about volleyball and some of our teams that competed and was able to qualify through the area tournaments to the regional tournaments. Centronelle, MGM, and Baker all were able to come in and gain positions in the area tournament to play in the regional tournaments. Baker actually was able to secure a spot in the state playoffs and traveled to Birmingham and competed in the volleyball state playoffs this year. So congratulations to the Baker Hornets, also to the other teams for making it to the regionals on an outstanding season. Cross country sectionals were last week, and Baker High School had a huge showing in cross country. In the girls' top 10, Baker was able to place 5 girls in the top 10. And so that speaks volumes of Coach Agnew and their cross-country program on their outstanding season and their showing in the sectional tournament in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. And the boys, we were able to position 5 out of top 10. NGM had the top runner for the boys team. Baker was able to secure 3 spots in the top 10, and Theodore had a top 10 runner. So congratulations to those runners in our cross-country programs, and especially Baker for placing so many kids in the top 10 for the girls and the boys. And again, congratulations to those schools and to Coach Agnew for an outstanding season so far in the cross-country season. We have the cheerleading regional that'll be coming up tomorrow at the Civic Center. The Alabama High School Association is hosting 2 regionals this year. One's going to be in Mobile tomorrow. So we have a lot of Mobile schools that'll be competing in the cheerleading regional. And so, you know, basketball for middle school is starting up, basketball for high school is starting up. We still have swimming and diving that's going on. And so we need to get out and support our schools, and we want to congratulate the schools that have, you know, positioned themselves to the state playoffs, but also to the schools that competed this year and had outstanding seasons. Thank you again for watching the show. We'll be back next week.